This video is a talkthrough of an Arch Glacor kill at 1000% in rage. Abilities being used will have brief pop-ups on screen for clarity, but otherwise it's a relatively simple entry-level boss with only slow magic attacks and 5 clear telegraphed mechanics to deal with. Before starting the boss, I apply all of my buffs, the Darkness Incantation applying a passive dodge effect, the Weapon Poison, which has a chance when dealing damage to deal an extra poison hit splat, and then I enter the instance, use my stat boosting overload, and summon my conjures. I then rapidly use Life Transfer, Command Ghost, and Command Skeleton before the boss becomes attackable in order to save time. The mechanic the boss starts with is random, and I open up with a bloat and see that he is using Flurry. During Flurry, the boss will use all 3 main styles of attacks, and praying incorrectly can lead to a death at this enrage. I release a Death Skulls, build my adrenaline back up to 100% using the basics, the basic attack, the Soul Strike, and Touch of Death, and once back at 100%, I use Living Death, the Necromancy ultimate, which empowers all your other abilities. The boss's second mechanic is to summon 5 Glacide minions. These are very easy to deal with the Necromancy style. Threads of Fate causes your next ability to hit up to 5 targets, and a Soul Volley or a weapon special attack will kill all the Glacites in one strike, and any remainders can be dealt with by basics. From here, you have a long period in which no mechanics happen, so I'm simply building up stacks, using abilities, generating adrenaline back up, and spending stacks once they fill up. For the next mechanic, there is an ice wall creeping in from the left, but it doesn't go all the way to the right. This means that it is Frost Cannon. You position yourself in the safe area, and the boss will perform an attack that hits 3 times for very high mage damage. You need to use a defensive in order to survive this whilst praying mage. The most common is Devotion, as this reduces all incoming damage of the type to 1, but you can also use Reflect or Debilitate, and it is a good idea to use Freedom or Anticipate in order to avoid being stunned by the attack. As that's all that's required for that mechanic, I can continue attacking and resummon my conjures after they've expired, and then re-command Ghost and re-command Skeleton. This time the walls creeping in from the left do push you all the way to the right side of the arena, so I surge to the corner, wait until this pillar approaches me, and then dive to the opposite side. Once the walls break, I move towards the middle of the arena whilst attacking the boss twice, and then surge across to the left side, staying in combat range whilst attacking the boss. From here I can run south and then route back to the middle of the arena, at which points the ice pillars will disappear, and the 5th mechanic will start. This is Frozen Core. The boss will dump its arms onto the battlefield, imprisoning you, and deal rapidly increasing magic damage. This isn't fatal for about 15 seconds, however the easiest way to deal with it is to kill the arms as quickly as possible. In this instance I use Invoke Death, an incantation that causes the enemy to be executed when reaching 20% health, and then use a single Soul Volley to one-shot the arm. There are several ways to deal with this, but as long as you aren't heavily undergeared, you could basic attack the arm down and you would still survive up to 2000% in rage. Now that the boss has done each of its 5 mechanics once, it can repeat them in any order. The next mechanic is Frozen Core once again, so I invoke Death once again, and then use my Necromancy weapon special attack to spend all 12 Necrosis stacks to hit the arm for 27,000 damage, killing it instantly. From here I resummon my conjures and command them again, and then continue using basic attacks until the next mechanic begins. The next mechanic is Flurry once again, causing the boss to use all 3 combat styles, so I build up Soul and Necrosis stacks whilst switching prayers as normal, and spend the stacks on Soul Volleys and Fingers of Death until the boss dies shortly after. All of the mechanics at the Arch Glacor are very simple and have incredibly easy ways to deal with, and you can choose your own difficulty via the Enrage system, meaning that you can make it as easy or as difficult as you please. It is a great boss for beginners, and hopefully this video gives you some insight as to how an example kill is done without making it look too difficult.